Right. And we send our congratulations along to Jim Courier as well for that honor that he'll receive next month.
Yana Damant as well being put in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see some tennis.
And we are set.
And she does not play very fast, so we'll have our opportunity to speak, Mary.
Yes.
A nosh.
Mary Pierce to serve.
Start for the match. Crowd's enthused. Federer and Nadal first point was rather awesome. These two have come out swinging. They actually level dropped for a while. And Roger was up and down throughout the day yesterday. I don't think I've in recent years seen a player play slower than Pierce.
When Mary Pierce won here 5 years ago, she was in the beginnings of a relationship with baseball player Roberto Alomar. And Alomar told me on several occasions that he urged Pierce strongly to play more quickly. And he thought it was going to be a great benefit to her. Well, the relationship was over, and I think the advice went with it.
She likes to get calm. You know, this is how she's off the court too, by the way. You know, she really needs to take her time and be relaxed about everything she does. Just to finish on birthdays, it was Rafa Nadal's 19th birthday yesterday after he beat Federer. The mayor of Mallorca came to his birthday party, and he'll be here for the men's final tomorrow. Yeah, like that. He didn't come for the match, but, you know, he wanted some cake.
Justine's admitted a little bit more about herself than she has in the past. Usually very guarded. Has admitted to being through a lot, fatigue in this tournament, not feeling quite as good as she did. She's still working her way back to 100%. We should point out that they've played 3 times. Justine has won all 3 on 3 different surfaces. She's got a wrap on it. Notice, I don't know what that is.
It's a heat wrap, actually. She's had a bit of a muscle strain back there, and she's also been having, especially when she gets tense, some back problems.
Well, there's Mary Pierce after that first point. Comes back nicely to hold, and Mary herself spoke about her pace of serving.
Kind of when I get nervous, I start to take too long. And so when I start to notice that, which sometimes the chair umpire will tell me, which I thank him for, it helps me because then I know I need to play a little bit quicker. And sometimes also I'm waiting for the crowd because they're cheering and calling my name and making noises, so I'm waiting for them to kind of calm down. And but I'm definitely not using that as a tactic towards my opponent or anything.
She's got all kinds of baseball moves.
See that right there? Mm-hmm.
Takes the sign. Well, Henin Hardenne's serve is going to be an interesting thing to watch. It can be a very big weapon for her, but she'll want to get a lot of first serves in because Pierce's return game, even off of first serves, can be formidable.
You cannot be as aggressive on the first serve. quite as sure how fast the ball's going to come. So she would be well served to hit a lot of first serves in.
Against Nadia Petrova in the semifinals, Justine Hardenne served at 35% before she picked it up in the second, and Petrova did nothing about it. I mean, that's been the interesting thing. Justine was challenged a couple of times in this fortnight, but no one was willing enough to go for the kill shot against her. They were either overwhelmed or overmatched or just not quite willing to go after her. Now, I think Pierce has it in her to do it.
There's very few players, Mary, on the men or women's side that step inside the baseline and are aggressive on returns. I mean, I would have thought Federer would have done that yesterday against Nadal.
There it is.
Well, there's that shot of beauty.
They'll watch this for generations to come.
I never understand why Justine runs around backhands to hit forehands as well as she hits this ball.
There was a great look on that, the beginning of that slow motion at her shifting that grip and lining that shot up.
Well, I think, though, that her forehand is a much bigger shot. I mean, that backhand is gorgeous, and it's a shock factor. But her forehand is the bigger weapon, and time and again, you'll see her try to give herself that forehand when she really wants to end a rally.
See, to me, running around that shot, you use energy to do that, and if you hit it that well to begin with, well, you could save that energy for perhaps other times.
She'll make a lot of cosmetic adjustments, Pierce, but her plan stays the same. And she doesn't really have the kind of plan B or C that Justine can use. Nicely done. See, she can't scramble like in Hardenne. She's got to win with her hitting.
Nor is she as comfortable at net. She's done well with a couple balls to her feet to at least get them back, but Justine's going to win most of the points when they're up there at net.
So Mary Pierce has a couple of tough assignments. One is that she doesn't move nearly as well as Justine. The other is that Justine likes power. She defends well against it. She can absorb the pace and get it back. Move it all around the court. Once you get Pierce off her pins, you've got a good look at the rally.
Three, she's not as good as him. This is, you know, an awesome tennis player, Justine. And so she's going to have to play at the top of her game and hope that Justine has an off day.
Well, there, decisive game as Henin Hardenne breaks at love. The Women's Championship at Roland Garros, live on NBC. Every seat filled as it was into the evening last night for the fabulous match between Nadal and Federer. We'll have the men's final for you. Same time, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, live tomorrow.
Un petit peu de silence, s'il vous plaît.
I'm beginning to think, John, you're right. I see a few Belgian flags at the very top of the stadium here, but I don't think they got as many tickets, the Belgian fans, as they would have liked.
And the crowd has already started chanting Mary's name. They sense the reality of this situation. They're going to have to help her here.
There's a Belgian flag, the neighboring country that has gone tennis mad with good reason. A country of 10 million people, the size of the state of Maryland, and they've got 2 world-class tennis players.
You noticed the last game, Justine stepped in, hit a few backhands up the line for winners. Well, that opens up that short cross-court backhand.
That's 10 straight points.
What she wants to do is see Mary Pierce on the run, hitting one-handed backhands.
40-0.
On the left is Pierre-Yves Hardenne, Justine's husband, and on the right, the man who's been more than a coach, almost a father figure for her, Carlos Rodriguez, who was an Argentine by birth, but has spent most of his life living in Belgium.
Been together for 9 years now. Sometimes a bit combatively. He wants her to use the net more. Use that game of hers to finish things at the net. Which we'll likely see in a few weeks' time at Wimbledon. And she misses that one.
Madame Hardenne.
This has just been a terrible stretch for Pierce. And this could hurt her chances, really, because she's one of those players who, if she gets off to a good start, she kind of feels like the day is hers, and the fans are with her as well, and it's her time. That's her just slightly older brother, David. He's a massage therapist and now her coach as well. He on and off throughout the years. He's been a great help to Mary on and off the court. And not always had an easy time of it. Their dad, Jim. Although they've all seemed to reconcile well of late.
Great defense.
And that's exactly, you're so right. Mary Pierce had a great shot there.
She really
saw it come back.
And the quickness that Justine exhibited is what we talked about in the opening. And she's forcing Mary to hit another shot. This is a tough shot to hit. It's windy out there. She hasn't gotten her bearings yet. She's nervous. I mean, she would have been better off letting that ball bounce. But she's so tight right now. She's just hoping for the best.
Seems to have stayed in.
It's nothing more annoying as an opponent. It seems you hit a serve, your opponent doesn't even hit the strings, completely off the frame. Martina got to the finals of the mix watching, and the ball bounces right inside the baseline. Already down a break. It's got to be careful it doesn't become 2 here.
14 consecutive points won by Henin Hardenne. Streak ends with an emphatic backhand.
Well, that was well done because that ball skidded off the line, so it's going to drop a little bit lower, but she kept her cool. She played a good safe shot. That's what she needs to do. Make sure she plays higher percentage points. Try to get herself out of trouble. Just from up above where we're watching, Justine's backhand, it's difficult to read, and she's so fluid on that backhand up the line. She immediately puts Mary in trouble. Carlos Rodriguez, Mary must be happy there because she moved in, took the point to Mary.
Well, she's just hustling Mary right off the court right now, just rushing her. And with every stroke she takes, she's robbing Mary of the time that she so wants.
Better for Mary there. Let the ball bounce, regroup a little bit, assess your options.
30-40.
And there she is, Justine, 10 feet behind the baseline. How about that forehand? What a start for Henin Hardenne.
Merci.
Born and raised in France, this tournament has long held special meaning for Amélie Mauresmo. She's done so well in so many other venues, but has never played anything near her best tennis here.
I know, you have to wonder. She lost a week ago to a 17-year-old, Anna Ivanovic, on this court, and just was so tight. You wonder if this is as close as she'll ever get to the center court as
Sixth
watching
row.
this. It's a pity that she cannot bring it here. Mary Pierce does a better job with that.
Isn't that something? And of course, Mary Pierce, who really was raised in the United States, but has, with her French-born mother, has adopted France as her home country. She lives now part of the year here in Paris.
Trains here.
Well, we should point out, though, Mary Pierce has been in 4 Grand Slam finals. I mean, she won the Australian. Runner-up, we talked about earlier, Roland Garros. Twice there, and the Australian in '97. So she's actually got more credentials than Mauresmo.
Mauresmo's been to 1 Grand Slam final, the Australian. You know, they want to put the crown on Mauresmo. I mean, she's their great hope, and not everyone wears the crown lightly. So far, Amélie has collapsed under the weight of it. That's nice again. Whereas Mary Pierce, we've seen her here, and hopefully this will change things. Mary seems to take that crown as just another, you know, fabulous accessory. Pulls together her outfit. And this kind of hitting might loosen up Pierce enough so that she can engage in this first set. Once she starts smiling again, you know she's on her way.
Well, the good news here for her is the fact that she's starting to pump the fist a little bit. That's going to get the crowd into it, showing the crowd that she still believes. And sure enough, they start chanting.
And if Mary has watched Justine Hardenne struggle throughout this tournament, she has to know that she has struggled at times on serve. And she's got to get them back.
I wouldn't recommend off the first serve going for as big a return. I mean, that's going to be difficult for her to pull up. I mean, Justine's hitting that serve is about 110 miles an hour. It's got good pop, and she uses spin well. It's going to be awful tough to hurt her on the first serve. She stepped inside the baseline there. It's a tall task. Second serve, I can understand. You can't take a swing as big as that. Now, maybe it took a little bit bad bounce. It was spinning away from her, but that's very risky. It's a great shot. I don't know if it was caught. It looked like it caught the outside of the line to me.
And Mary went over, took a look, and now coming down to the chair, the ball good. Carlos Ramos coming down from the chair.
Umpires are very well dressed here.
Just
got it. Just that. So it is 5-1 Henin Hardenne in this first set. All the credentials that Mary Pierce owns, she's won 1 title since her championship here 5 years ago.
Henin's defense is so solid and interesting there because she slices that backhand right to the center of the court. Doesn't give Mary the angle. Then when she can put a little bit more on the forehand, she becomes more aggressive. With those 2 backhand slices just right to the middle, almost daring Mary to go for too much. She's in a good flow right now with Justine. It's just the best I've seen her set. Maybe that first set you mentioned, Conchita, but in the first round, 6-0, but she's playing very well. mixes things up quite nicely, uses the slice and uses some extra topspin on the forehand. You know she can flatten it out. We've already seen that in this match. She's got Mary reeling right now.
Such a clean set. Just 2 errors by Henin Hardenne. And a chance here for a quick finish. 2 points from the set.
Action was good. With your service.
Ball was ruled good by the chair, so first serve again.
Mary's feeling that guy was moving around a long look. I mean, she's barely sweaty, and she's about to lose his first set. This has not gone according to plan.
Well, there's a fellow probably in Florida, Nick Bollettieri. Mary, who's been says he's been talking on the phone with Mary Pierce regularly through these championships.
Says he even worked on her serve over the phone. Shorter swings, shorter toss. That double fault has just helped lose her that first set in only 24 minutes.
2 double faults in the final game. And a very easy first set for Henin Hardenne, the ladies' championship at Roland Garros. Women's championship at Roland Garros as we begin the second set on Justine Henin Hardenne's serve. Mary Pierce once again heard nothing but encouragement as she rose from the chair to begin the second set. And most everyone here urging her on.
That had to feel good. That's only the 3rd point that Mary Pierce has been able to win on Justine Henin Hardenne's serve for the match.
She handles those high balls quite well. She's a tall lady, almost 6 feet tall, and she likes the ball up high. She's very strong. That's well done.
Well, maybe now that that first set has been tucked away so simply by Justine, Pierce can relax a little bit and go for her shots. And at least for the moment, her big shots are connected.
Yeah. There was another one, Josh. She was standing right on the baseline.
It's a risky proposition, but she's got it. Maybe she feels she has to take chances.
Well, I think that is it, John. She's committed to playing that way. She's got to take the ball early and go after it. And it's risky. It's a double-edged sword, and obviously right through that first set, both edges of the sword were dull.
I would like to see her be aggressive off the return, but not go for as big a shot, particularly the first one, and go over the low part of the net and still hit the ball with some pace, but not try to go for outright winners.
She hasn't really put pressure on Justine's serve until this game. And now it seems it's beginning to rain, which would be a good thing for Pierce.
That's a bad strategy at the moment.
Just a very light rain beginning. It's wide, and there's the first double thrown in by Henin Hardenne. And for Mary Pierce, step forward, she gets the game to deuce on Justine's serve.
Well, that point had nothing to do with Pierce. It had to do with Justine losing her concentration and the murmuring of the crowd. semifinal with Gaudio and Coria. Coria was destroying him in 2 sets, and at 4-all, I believe, the crowd started doing the wave. Gave Gaudio something to smile about, and it changed the entire course of that match. And this could be one of these points here. Pierce could get this break.
Merci. Merci, mesdames et messieurs. Égalité.
The same chants that Mary Pierce heard 5 years ago on this day. She hasn't always heard them on this court.
She's been booed off this court. Some years back, she was playing Barbara Rittner of Germany on this court and didn't play well at all, and they jeered her, whistled, started cheering for her opponent. She talked about the other day, she said, I couldn't understand it. All of a sudden they were cheering for Germany.
In her younger years here, she had a falling out with Yannick Noah at Fed Cup, stopped talking to the French press. And it all changed when she won this title 5 years ago. No question for Justine Henin Hardenne what this championship means. She came here to watch a memorable final as a 10-year-old with her mother. And promised her mom that she'd be on this court one day.
It's a remarkable story, isn't it? She was playing a tournament in Belgium like 10 and unders, and she won it. The first prize were 2 tickets to the women's final at Roland Garros in '92, and she happened to be able to watch one of the best matches I've ever seen. Sellis beating Groff 10-8 in the third. Oh, there, that's just bad stuff. She had a real look at opening up the second set in a positive way. And this is what has happened with Justine throughout this tournament. I mean, players have had their looks at her, and they just have not been able to come up with it. And it, of course, all that does is fuel her.
French Open summary presented by Cadillac tomorrow. Rafael Nadal will try to be the first man since Mats Wilander to win the French Open on his first try. He'll face an Argentine, not who we thought, Mariano Puerta, the lefty. And of course, this winner here is 10 seed and the 21 seed, the lowest ever to win the French Open.
Well, they were practicing on side-by-side courts a couple of hours ago, and Nadal and Wilander were playing on one court, and here come the rains, and Puerta was playing in front of just about nobody, and Wilander and Nadal were playing before a packed practice court. Wilander certainly liked Rafa's chances. Yeah.
I said it's got to be a thrill for Nadal to practice with Mats.
Well, it was a nice idea to come up with a good for a little TV time for Mats, who's working Eurosport. and it's a good story to get them out there, you know, try to have a little bit of fun with the sport. You know, Mats, as we just showed, the last guy to win this on his first try. And Nadal is certainly the overwhelming favorite to do it tomorrow.
Let's give Mary Pierce letting things settle here in the stadium for a moment. All of the umbrellas opening now.
Well, she doesn't rush, as we've said anyway, and she could use a little break in the locker room right now. Henin hit 2 serves. Got 115, 114 the last 2 serves. She's hit some real pop she's got. She's serving quite well.
And look at Pierce's serving. Her service percentage is fine, but it's not doing her any good. She's not even converting a lot of points when she gets the first one in, and she's getting it in a lot. It's tremendous aggression from everywhere. And Justine Henin Hardenne.
Well, she hasn't gone for as much on her first serve. Spun a lot of them in, which is why that percentage is high. This may be a place where I could see her going for more and trying to win some points on the serve. That's just very poor footwork there. She's not winning a lot of points, period.
Exactly. Both bad.
I'm glad to see her trying to smile. She needs to relax a little bit, calm herself down, and just feel good about this match, because right now there's not much to smile about. That's what happened with Gaston Gaudio. He relaxed. Got out of his own way, and good things started to happen.
And he got some help from his opponent, Coria, last year.
Sure did.
Cramped almost at the same time.
Oh, man, even that one she misses.
If you want any hope of winning a French Open today, Mary cannot possibly miss a shot this easy. I mean, the win is a factor, but that is not going to get it done. And Justine tried to give her that point.
So an error-laden match so far for Pierce. And now faces a break point. And now it's like Justine says that's good.
No, she said it was out.
She changed sides.
It's game.
Wow. That is game.
The way she showed that mark, and that wasn't, it was a give me the ball, that's my serve, too long.
And so there is the break, and it's
hard to smile now. That would be a miracle if you could smile through this at this point. Couldn't possibly gone anywhere. She won the first game.
And that's the only one. Obviously, 8 straight. Justine Henin Hardenne, and it was evident in her match with Kuznetsova in the 4th round. She doesn't often in the big matches steamroll people. There seems to be always one little lapse or an opening that she'll give her foe.
Tell that to Sharapova. Beat her pretty easily. Kuznetsova must be thinking about it, the things that have slipped away the last 2 years. She had match point on Mosquina last year. She won it. She had 2 match points against Henin this year, and she looks like she's going to win it.
Mosquina is the only open-era champion here that saved a match point en route, and Justine has a chance to follow that up.
This is absolutely key for Pierce to get this one back big. Get Anna worried about something. Make her doubt herself a little bit. No, she lets her off the hook. I mean, those are the ones you just have to get back.
Well, if you're nervous, you're not going to hit the ball as cleanly. So you've got to aim closer inside the line. Don't go for the line.
Well, that's something that Pierce really doesn't do much at all. I mean, Justine Hardenne, we've seen her play offense, we've seen her play defense. She knows how to downshift. You know, she knows how to how to do that kind of stuff. Mary Pierce is good in the straightaways, but you know, she's not gonna handle the other stuff the same way.
Well, it is looking like a championship steamroll. 6-1, 3-love. It's 2 years ago, Justine Henin Hardenne won her championship here, and she beat her fellow Belgian Kim Kleisters. It was 6-love first set, very similar to this match. Kleisters was able to get back in it. Second set, Henin Hardenne won 6-4. Mary Pierce faces a game right here that she must hold to have any hope of getting back in.
Premier service.
And if Nick Bollettieri could pick up that phone right now, what would he be telling Mary Pierce?
Pretty much the same thing he's always told Mary. They've been together on and off for 10 years, and she's back there. She's got a home in Bradenton, Florida, where she lives when she's not playing and training.
Hit the ball, dear. That's what you get at. Don't think out there, dear, because that's when you get in trouble.
That's telling you, there's a second career for you.
That's enough.
That's great.
Well, she's just got to, you know, she's just not reacting quickly enough to anything, is she, Pierce? And I mean, more than anything, I'm sure Nick and Dave, they just want Mary to play to her abilities, show the kind of tennis that got her to this final. Because right now she hasn't. I mean, Pierce has had some very nice wins here.
That's called out.
Well, it looked like it was a little wide.
Yeah.
I don't think Justine is going to say much about it.
Carlos Ramos has agreed that it fell wide.
See, the call first was good and then wide. That's what got everybody's hopes up there for a moment. Hawkeye confirms.
You can still hit the ball with pace, but you just hit the ball 6 feet inside the baseline, 60 inside the sideline. You just don't go for as big a shot as precise.
Do you guys want to hear a gross generalization? Are you up for that? In a bad women's match on clay, the matches go really quickly. Okay? In a bad men's match on clay, they go really long. What do you think of that? I think, honestly, it's true. Get back to me on that one.
Well, I can't agree with that.
Well, I think everybody's thinking, watching this so far, thinking back to tennis history to Graf Zverev on this court 17 years ago.
That was a quickie.
This has already gone longer than that. And Mary Pierce went with a game point.
I just think when, and we certainly have seen it at this tournament, when the women get tight, you know, they miss, and the points are over quickly. When the guys get tight, they just roll the ball back in the court, and the rallies go longer. As I said, it was a gross generalization, but I think there's some truth to it.
Are you referring to the Puerto match in Davidenko?
A lot of them. I've been here for 2 full weeks watching a lot of long men's matches that weren't necessarily entertaining. Their entertainment value had ended after the 3-hour mark. They went 5.
So you're suggesting
you
a
agree
curfew.
with the breaker in the 5th?
A curfew.
And I've watched a lot of bad women's matches that went very quickly. Listen to the fans applaud. They're trying so hard. They're staying behind Mary. No jeers, no whistles. They want her to. Look, she's 30 years old. It's a surprise that she got this far. She's acquitted herself beautifully, Pierce, beating among others the world's #1, Lindsay Davenport. They would love to see a good match from her.
And again, remember, since she won here 5 years ago, she's only won one tournament in 5 years. That highlights how improbable this appearance is. And she's had you sense her attitude has been she's enjoying every minute of it, knowing it may not happen again. Well, finally, something for Mary Pierce to pump her fist about on the board.
She's still not smiling, but at least she's got something going, perhaps.
There's been a lot of dramatic changes over the years in big women's matches. So
the last time a 30-year-old played for this championship was Martina Navratilova 18 years ago. The last time a 30-year-old played for any Grand Slam title was Martina at Wimbledon 11 years ago.
That's right. She was 37. 37 years old, 8 months. Lost to Conchita Martinez. And Chris Evert was 31 when she won this for the last time, back in '86. Her 7th Roland Garros title.
And so much of the story of this French Open has been the Oviches, Ivic's, Evas, and Ovas, all of whom were between 15 and 18 that are infiltrating the women's tour with success. And here we have a 30-year-old who stands on this final Saturday. Well, tomorrow we've got a Spaniard and an Argentine once again playing for the French Open Championship. The men's title, Rafael Nadal off his dismantling of Roger Federer last night. He'll try to complete this run, and he'll face Mariano Puerta of Argentina live tomorrow morning here on NBC.
That's a nice smile, isn't it? She hit so many of them to get to this final round. There have been so few so far today. They're still trying to get her going. So instead of 30 all, and something for Justine Hardenne to maybe think about, worry about, she's got a game point for a 4-1 lead in the second.
And then finishing it with that beautiful backhand. 2 games of the championship. Greatest moments of the French Open presented by Raymond James. In 1992, an 18-year-old Monica Seles at the peak of her career looked for her 3rd straight French Open title and met in the championship two-time champion herself, Steffi Graf. It was an epic 2-hour, 43-minute finale with Monica Seles finally prevailing at 10-8 in the 3rd set. The first woman in over 50 years to win 3 straight titles at Roland Garros. And that is the match that a 10-year-old Justine Henin was in the stands with her mother, promising her mom that she would play here someday. 2 years later, her mother died.
Well, you'll be noticing that replay of that point, Monica Seles mixing her shots up there, and she's known as a big hitter that played one way, the way Mary's talked about Pierce. Good on the straightaways, not so good around the turns. She should try to take something from a Monica Seles, who was able to keep her opponents off balance. It's interesting because Monica was the first female player that I ever saw that stepped. She had two hands on both sides, but she stepped inside the baseline off the return and went for big returns and really hurt her opponent. And she's really changed the way the women's game is played to me.
She took the ball so early, and she was always inside the court. And in recent years, when she's tried to come back, she's lost that. She's not nearly inside the court as much, so she doesn't have the same aggression and can't find the same angles. She found more short court angles than anybody.
Monica Seles has not played since the French Open 2 years ago. She's still hopeful of mounting a comeback. 58 minutes last year for Messina.
Justine Hardenne is so far and away the best clay court woman tennis player, and it's not like on the guys' side where there are dozens and dozens of men whose best surface is slow red clay. The best women players, almost every one of them, they're better on hard courts, fast courts.
Well, I'm glad she's trying to change gears here. That's exactly what she did these last few points. Play with a lot more topspin. And she's actually daring Henin to go for too much. She's dumped 2 forehands in a row in the net.
A change-up.
It's got to try to do something different.
Good first serve down the middle. She also changed. Now look at Mary Pierce. She's right back at the service line ready and wait a second there for Justine.
She's not going to win a lot of touch contests at net. But the good news is she was up 45, Ted. She still has another chance to win this point in this game. Especially given the fact she plays with 2 hands, and then she's got to go to the one-hander. Not a natural stroke for her.
Just when she had a game in sight, missed at net, now her 4th double.
In the first final that Mary Pierce played here, she lost to Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. 11 years later, she's playing a souped-up version of Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. Arantxa won this 3 times. Playing an awful lot like Anna does.
That looked a little wide.
That's out. It is called out.
You'll be happy to know, Ted and Mary, that Arantxa warmed me up for my seniors doubles today.
Is that right?
Still hitting the ball well. She first ball, she comes out. That ball was clearly wide.
Carlos
She can
Ramos
still play some good doubles and mix, I can assure you that.
She played doubles here with Martina Navratilova. They lost right away, but Martina got herself to the mixed doubles final with Leander Paes. So they lost to Fabrice Santoro and Daniela Huntakova.
She should keep Leander on the payroll.
Well, this is obviously
Full time.
This is the end of the road for Mary Pierce. This point she must save. And she does for the moment stay alive.
Well, that's the first sign of her nerves from Justine right there. Pretty easy return of serve. Missed wide.
Pierce.
We've seen that often in this match. You know, normally when you play doubles, you warm up with your partner. But Yannick Noah, who I play with, he's not practicing a whole lot. He saves himself in the match. Yeah. Spending a lot of time singing, selling out concerts all over France. Justine is so much more natural at net. She can make things happen like she did in this point and come in and you feel confident that she's going to hit a good volley.
Avantage, Madame Henin Hardenne.
With Mary, it's a bit of a wing and a prayer up there. And she's got so much feel and touch. She saw Mary well behind the baseline. She's got another chance to get up and serve this one out if she wins this point.
And a double fault, the second game that Mary Pierce has lost on a double. And now Justine Henin Hardenne serves for her second French Open championship. After her mother passed away, Justine Henin Hardenne had a falling out with her father. She really spent much of her youth once she moved to a tennis-playing city at the age of 14 under the care and guidance of her coach, Carlos Rodriguez. She came here and she won the junior championship at the age of 15 in 1997. And now trying for her second ladies title.
Mary Pierce seems destined to be holding up the runner-up trophy when she first contested for the trophy and lost. She said she'd been up the night before worrying about how well she could speak in French. She didn't sleep well going into that final, and it showed. But her French, at least, is much better than it was.
It was absolutely beautiful when she gave her speech here in 2000.
She's not going to sleep well tonight.
When you watch Justine at 5'5", 126 pounds, generate that kind of power.
30-0.
You think, Mary, what it could have been had Martina Hingis been able to play anything like this woman has.
She just, I don't think she ever had the commitment to all the physical fitness that's required to play the brand of tennis that Justine plays. And they're about the same size, but Hingis got knocked out of this game by all the power and by some injuries. Just couldn't take all the heat. This one can.
I mean, Hingis had a good run, and to me, if she was healthy, she'd still be in the top 5 or 6 in the world without a serve.
I don't think so, John. But wow.
Sadly, we'll never know. Too young to have quit at the age she did.
And so Mary Pierce checking and acknowledging the ace, and it's championship point.
This one just burns.
30.
Justine Henin Hardenne, her first final, amazingly, was at Wimbledon as a 19-year-old. She's won each of the others, and she's won the Olympic gold medal. And now she celebrates a second championship at Roland Garros. An illness and a viral infection last year that left her so weak she would spend 18 hours a day in bed at points. She has rebounded to win Roland Garros for the second time. And now the Belgians and the French alike all stand for the champion.
Well, I thought Henin was going to win this. I did not think it would be this one-sided. It's too bad that it was such a mismatch today.
Fair play, Marie, ça s'est bien passé tout le long.
She called her Olympic gold medal in Athens last summer the most satisfying thing she's done in tennis. I wonder if that will still hold to come back and win this championship for a second time, as demanding as it is to win on this surface, and how much it means to her to win here.
When you're playing for your country and she had not played through a large part of last year, you can see why that was so big. And she's won this, but after what she's been through, it's got to feel awful good to be on top of the tennis world again.
Her fourth Grand Slam championship, her second on the clay of Roland Garros. And as decisive as anyone could have imagined, her husband leaping to his feet and pointing there, still seated. The only coach she's ever had from age 14, Carlos Rodriguez.
He doesn't even have to get up anymore.
Well, she was #1 in this sport before illness felled her last year, and she's heading back in that direction, looking up at the sky towards her mother as she did 2 years ago. French Open champion Justine Henin Hardenne. The ceremony's straight ahead. The ladies champion at Roland Garros for 2005, Justine Henin Hardenne, 6-1, 6-1 over Mary Pierce, as we watch Court Suzanne Lenglen now being, Court Philippe Chatrier, excuse me, being prepared for the awarding of the Coupe Suzanne Lenglen, and doing that, one of France's newest sport heroes, Laura Manadou, a three-time medalist in the Athens Olympics, first French woman Olympic swimming champion in the history of the games. She won the gold in the 400-meter freestyle, and as always, she's accompanied by the president of the French Tennis Federation, Christian Beams. And of course, with Paris hopeful of being the host city for the 2012 games, a decision coming up in 1 month. Another reason to have Laura Manadou out here. She was referenced here as the ambassador of Paris 2012. And Mary Pierce now approaching the stage. And we see signs of how emotional this is for Mary.
ces internationaux de France 2005. Elle remporte son 4e titre du Grand
The
Chelem.
difference between a champion who expects that she'll have this chance again and the runner-up who knows it may never happen again.
You've had the best 2 weeks you've had in 5 years, and then you have to sort of suffer through this. It just shows you the change of fortune's a little rough. It happens so fast.
With no denying the worthiness of this champion.
Mesdames, Messieurs, je vais vous demander de vous lever en l'honneur de
This
la
country
gagnante
will
pour écouter
now enjoy
l'hymne
both
national
players having a chance to speak
Ladies and
in
gentlemen,
French.
In honor of the winner, the national anthem of Belgium.
Now the national anthem of Belgium. Belgium has a constitutional monarchy, and Prince Philippe is here, and a magnificent tennis fan. And the successes of Justine and Kim Clijsters have made tennis more popular than ever. There's Prince Philippe of Belgium.
Merci. C'est beaucoup d'émotions pour moi aujourd'hui. Vous savez, j'ai vécu des moments un peu difficiles l'année dernière et il fut une époque où je me demandais encore si j'allais pouvoir revenir à mon meilleur niveau et un jour de nouveau gagner un tournoi du Grand Chelem. J'espérais que ce soit ici à Roland-Garros. Maintenant, c'est chose faite et ça me comble de bonheur. Je voudrais bien sûr remercier toute l'organisation qui, une fois de plus, a fait un travail extraordinaire. Tous les sponsors, Sony Ericsson de supporter le tour depuis tant d'années maintenant. Merci.
Thanks the crowd, much emotion.
J'ai quelques remerciements vraiment très personnels à effectuer. Je voudrais remercier ma famille, mes amis, Julie et Thierry, merci. C'est un bonheur de vous avoir dans ma vie. Merci à mon époux, Pierre-Yves. Je sais que c'est pas toujours facile de me supporter, mais je trouve ça extraordinaire à peine 25 ans de gérer tout ça comme tu le fais. Je suis très très fière de toi. Et il va pas aimer ça, mais je voudrais dédier ma victoire à mon entraîneur parce que ça fait jour pour jour, presque 9 ans qu'on travaille ensemble. Et
thank to all the sponsors, her husband, always there to support her, Pierre Yves.
Et Carlos, tu dois être une des rares personnes qui m'ait jamais laissé tomber. Alors, sois encore un petit peu courageux, supporte-moi quelques années et j'espère qu'on ira au bout ensemble. Je te remercie très très fort et merci.
She said they dedicated her victory to her coach, Carlos.
Je voudrais féliciter Marie, ça a été une grande quinzaine et ça a été un plaisir pour moi de jouer contre toi aujourd'hui et un grand honneur aussi. Et les derniers remerciements, ils seront pour vous. Vous avez été un public fantastique pendant toute la quinzaine. Merci de votre soutien. Merci beaucoup.
Congratulated Mary Pierce. It was a pleasure to play with her on this final day.
Mary Pierce.
And a wonderful moment, the champion applauding as well.
Excusez-moi. C'est très difficile de parler là maintenant. Pour moi, je suis très émue. Je suis mélangée d'émotions. Maintenant, tout de suite, là, je suis triste parce que j'ai perdu. Bon, c'est normal quand on perd, mais aussi, je voulais faire un meilleur match. Je suis désolée, ça n'a pas duré très longtemps.
She started obviously by saying how difficult it is for her to speak, and she was very sad that she wanted to play a better match.
J'ai fait mon mieux. Je pense que j'étais au bout physiquement, émotionnellement, mentalement. J'ai passé une quinzaine, mais vraiment plus qu'extraordinaire. C'est même pas un rêve, quoi. Parce que quand j'ai gagné ici en 2000, c'était mon rêve qui est devenu réalité. Et puis de dire que c'était un rêve, c'est plus que ça, parce que les moments difficiles que j'ai vécus, les victoires maintenant sont...
She's disappointed she could not play better. She tried her best. She spent a wonderful 2 weeks here. Was hoping
Parce que les victoires maintenant, ça vaut plus maintenant qu'avant. Et donc, même que j'ai perdu en finale aujourd'hui, je suis contente que je suis arrivée en finale encore une troisième fois. Pour moi, je pensais que jamais, quand j'étais jeune, que j'arrivais 3 fois en finale ici à Roland-Garros et même de gagner une fois. Donc, j'aimerais remercier tout le monde qui est ici aujourd'hui, tout le public, même les gens qui sont venus de Belgique.
What a dream it's been to play in 3 finals at Roland Garros, and thanking all of the fans, the French public supporting her.
Parce que c'est aussi grâce à vous pendant cette quinzaine et puis pendant ma carrière que je suis toujours là et que j'ai toujours l'envie de jouer et que l'année prochaine je vais revenir et puis je vais essayer de faire encore mieux.
And thanks also to the Belgian fans.
Je voudrais féliciter Justine. Bravo. Vraiment, le match a duré pas longtemps. Je pense que j'ai pouvais mieux jouer, mais c'est vrai que tu as joué super. Tu étais vraiment trop forte aujourd'hui. Bravo. Tu es un niveau très très haut. Donc je te félicite énormément.
And of course, congratulations for a great match to Justine.
Je voudrais aussi remercier ma famille qui est là, qui m'aide beaucoup aussi, qui me soutient. C'est aussi grâce à eux que je suis là et leur l'amour et le soutien aussi à mon frère qui est mon entraîneur. Merci beaucoup.
Thanks to her family and last, of course, her brother, David, her trainer.
Je t'aime très fort et je sais des fois c'est peut-être pas facile. Et puis mon préparateur physique Xavier, qui d'autre Bob, toutes les kinés qui m'ont beaucoup soigné, donc qui m'a beaucoup aidé aussi, le docteur Montalvan qui m'a beaucoup aidé pendant cette quinzaine aussi. Le staff WTA, tous les sponsors, Sony Ericsson qui sponsor le tour.
Longer than the match.
Ça vous plaît pas, non? aussi très important.
Feeling a little better about her French these days.
Parce qu'il m'attend tous les soirs très tard. Je suis la dernière, donc c'est très gentil qu'il reste tous les soirs pour moi très tard. Aussi, toutes les ramasseurs et les ramasseuses de balles, merci beaucoup, vous étiez géniaux.
She has thanked everyone. That's the summary.
You know that.
Got the reaction, of course, for thanking the title sponsor of the WTA Tour.
Il faut les remercier aussi.
I'm listening to see if she thanks us for calling the match home.
Je suis obligée de dire quelques mots en anglais parce que je sais qu'il y a ma famille, mon père et tout ça qui ne parlent pas français et qui me regardent. Donc je voudrais juste dire quelques mots en anglais vite fait. I just want to say a few words to the people in the States that are watching. I want to thank you for all your love and your support. I want to thank you, all my friends that have been praying for me. I want to thank my father who's watching. Thank you for all your help and support. I want to thank Nick and everybody that's helped me to be here. Thank you very much. I love you.
She's a nice lady.
Well, after
she's something.
After fighting to compose herself, she did quite well.
She couldn't do that during the match, but she sure recovered for this moment.
Well, we'll come back and hear from both Mary and Justine. Justine Henin Hardenne winning her second Coupe Suzanne Long Long. Her fourth championship overall and the second here in Paris in this championship that has meant so much in her life, to her family, devoted husband and coach. And lastly, for her mother, she promised she would play here one day. Another championship for Belgium, Justine Henin Hardenne. The French Open on NBC, presented by Raymond James, brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and the great values now being offered. And by Lincoln Financial Group, providing powerful resources to help you say hello future. Back at court, Philippe Chatrier, down to Bud Collins with Mary.
Mary Pierce, this was a triumphant tournament for you. It was a bad beating, but yet you beat the #1 player in the world, Lindsay Davenport. You generated a lot of love here today, and this wasn't always the case.
Yeah, I think that's the magic word, really, is love. And I think the power of love is amazing, and thanks to that is also the reason that I'm standing here today. The love of God and the love of my family and my friends and everybody that's been helping me and praying for me.
11 years after your first major, you know, not many players in history can say that. Here you are, and you're still going, but how painful was that?
You know, I think I just got to the end physically and emotionally. I gave everything that I had for these whole 2 weeks, and it's been a fantastic tournament. It's just been amazing to reach the finals again. So I'm very happy for that, but I'm very sad that I lost and that I wish I would have played a better match.
What is it about Henin Hardenne that makes her the champion?
She's just a great fighter, and she's a great player. She has just a great, solid game all around. All her shots are very strong.
Was there any time that you thought you might get back into it?
Well, I started off really good. I won the first game.
Yes, and then 9.
And then after that, it didn't go so well. You know, I made a lot of unforced errors today, and there were also forced errors from Justine, but just doesn't feel like it was my day. It wasn't meant to be.
Just one of those days. Well, you gave us a terrific tournament. Mary, thank you very much. Ted?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, very gracious as she was in her speech, again with Bud, Mary Pierce, disappointed that she could not put up the better fight. But I fight a great word to describe the two-time French Open champion. We'll hear from Justine when we come back. We'll hear again from the French Open champion, Justine Henin Hardenne, as we go back down to Bud.
And this is the champion, Justine. Bien joué. You were a kid, a little girl. Where did you sit in 1992 when you watched Sellis and Graf?
Yeah, it's a lot of emotions because I remember that all the time.
Were you upstairs somewhere?
No, I was sitting just right there, very close to the court, so I was very lucky, and I was a little girl. I was dreaming of the French Open, and now I won it twice, so that's beautiful.
And now you were in the seats. Now this is your palace. Were you stunned by how quickly it went?
I think I was very focused from the beginning of the match to the end, really concentrate, and I put on her a lot of pressure, and I think that paid off very good today.
How are you feeling physically? You told us the other day that you're not quite right yet.
I'm still not 100%. I think I can do better, but on clay court I didn't lose a match, so I'm very proud of it, and I hope that I'm going to be in good shape for the grass.
24 straight matches, even if you're 95%, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to take a little rest, and then I hope I'll be ready for Wimbledon. I have to take rest because my body is a little bit tired after all these matches, but it's just a lot of emotions for me today.
My colleague John McEnroe is saying, a woman has a beautiful backhand such as yours. What is she doing running around it for forehands?
I think my best chance is my forehand. My backhand is beautiful, but my forehand gives me more points, so I try to use it as much as I can, and that's very good.
Wimbledon, you haven't won Wimbledon. You've won the Australian. You've won the United States. Is that your goal now, the big W?
That remains a goal for sure, but right now I will try to enjoy my victory here at the French Open, and I'm sure I can play better tennis on grass than I did in the last few years, but I've been very consistent in Wimbledon, and I hope that one day I'll do it there.
Well, enjoy it. You're the Queen of France, even if you're from Belgium. There's the face of a champion, Justine, and then Hardenne.
Thank you very much.
Merci.
Thank you, Bud. And very much a part of Justine's life is still fighting any recurrence of the viral illness that impacted her last year, so much so that she is unlikely to play any of the grass court warm-ups. Thus, the next time we will see her will be at the All England Club. Justine Henin Hardenne, French Open champion,